In this segment, I'm going to take a look at the Create Monogram tool, and that's found here on the toolbar on the left-hand side. So when I go ahead and choose this Edit Monogram, basically I'm able to click and drag to create my monogram, and that's based upon these simple tool options that you have to choose from. So basically, you get to enter in your text, and I've just got simply entered in ABC. And then you get to choose a font, so you can choose, and it can be any font you want. It doesn't matter what kind of font you choose. So you go ahead and choose a font. And then you get to choose the style of monogram from a drop-down list. And there's quite a few different styles, as you can see, to choose from. So I'll just go ahead and start with a sort of simple basic style. And then what you can see is that I have to left-click and drag to create that monogram size. So I'll left click and drag until I'm kind of happy with it. When I let go, it'll add the stitches to it, and if I right click, it'll complete creation of that monogram. Now it's still a monogram object, and I still have the ability to go in on the tool options and change the template or the font. So if you didn't like that font, you can just simply choose another font, whatever one that you like. And for example, the design right now, it currently has a light blue fill and a dark blue outline. If we decided we just wanted to have a fill only, I can select it, come down to my pen options and turn off the outline. I could open up the object properties and change it from a step fill to a satin fill for the lettering. So that's pretty much the same as it is with any embroidery object, but what specifically made this different was the fact that when you create a monogram, you have the 3 letters and then these different monogram patterns or templates, I guess. So we could take a look at some of the different templates. For example, this is an overlapping template. And when I go to an overlapping template, you can see here that it actually places these letters over top of each other. Now, you can actually control which letter sews over top. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on the desktop to let go of this shape, and I'm going to choose to go to my Edit Shape Nodes tool, and then choose this different shape. So before, when I just was in the transform selection, I had the ability to choose the different font and whatnot. But here in the Edit Shape Nodes option, if I go and mouse over top of the areas where the 2 letters intersect, it shows me right now the A's over top. If I mouse over it and it turns pink for the C, if I click now, it'll get the C to sew over top of the A. So I was able to make that sort of change, and it's the same place wherever there's an overlap, you get to control what's going to be the overlapping part of the letter. And so that's how it works. Now maybe what I'll do is I'll create another one just for some repetition. So I'll start by creating a new monogram. I get to choose a font, so it can be any font that you want. And we'll just scroll through some of the fonts and pick something different. You get to, I guess, left click and drag to place the font on your screen. And then I'll turn off the outline of this font so that we can see sort of easily what letters on top. And then when I go to the Edit Shape Node tool, that's how I have the ability to choose whether the A is over top of the C, or if I click on the pink, it turns the C over top of the red, and if I come and click again, it puts the A back over top of the C. So you have that ability to choose which letter is going to be over top and which letter is going to be underneath using this tool. Now, what I could do is I can also, if you can see these yellow boxes that are around each of the letters, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more closely so you can see that each letter is surrounded by a yellow box, and then the overall monogram is surrounded by the blue box. When you're in the Edit Shape Node option, you can also click on the corners of these yellow boxes and change their size and change their location. So that's going to give you more control over the shape of that letter. And then when you click on the corner nodes, you can also select on the angle handles if you want to curve them or contour them in any way. And it's going to give you, again, it's going to be your ability to change the shape of the letters within that monogram. So that's the monogramming tool. And the one other option that I could talk about would be once you created a monogram, and I showed this is a monogram that I've created. I have all the abilities to modify the size or the width or the scale, duplicate this, all of the same tool options that we have for any embroidery object, plus the specialized tool options for a monogram, like the template, which is being used to create this specific monogram object, and the letters. You also have the control over the object properties, so you can change the type of stitch, whether it be step or satin or piping for that matter, any kind of stitch that you want. Now, if you want to take even more control over it once you've created your monogram, you do have the ability to go into your right-click menu over top of the monogram and choose Break Apart. Now, if I break it apart, what happens is each of these letters becomes its own individualized object, which I could then make modifications to, so that if I wanted to, for example, change some of the direction lines or move some of the actual shape nodes themselves for that letter, I can do that. So that's how you can break apart a monogram and then sort of regain all of the individual objects that were used to create that monogram. So yeah, that's my segment on using the Monogram tool.